Hello and welcome to this day in the life of a foster carer. If you are new around here, my name is Sarah and I am a single foster carer here in the UK. And here on this channel I share all about my life as a foster carer. So if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing, hit the bell to get notified and give this video a thumbs up. I am a short-term foster carer, which means that I have children with me until decisions are made about what will happen for them, whether they will be placed for adoption, be able to go back to parents or different family member. And the longest a child has been with me I think is 18 months. The shortest has been a couple of weeks, so it can vary hugely. At the moment I have 3 children with me, a sibling group. I also have my own 17-year-old son, and obviously every single day it can be hugely different depending on so many different factors, depending on the children that I have and depending on what's going on. There can be meetings or schools, nurseries, lots of different things. I'm just going to share this random day, but right now it's about 10:15. We need to go back in time to this morning, to about 6 o'clock this morning. That's when my day usually starts. All the children that I have with me at the moment do attend some form of educational setting most days, and so that means that my days Monday through to Friday begin at 6 o'clock when I get up and I fit in a quick workout. Today's workout was a bit of yoga, and the children get up around 7 o'clock. All children who come to me, I try to get into a routine of getting up at 7 o'clock, because to be honest I can't cope with much earlier than that. It's not always possible, and sometimes it takes a long time, like quite a few months to get into that. With these children we have quite quickly got into that routine of sort of like a 7 o'clock wake up. Well, it's a school morning this morning, so do you want to grab your... to take them off? Pardon? Are you going to wear your socks today? Yeah. Or, yeah? And on this particular morning, we don't have much time. It is get up, get dressed, ready for school, because we need to be out of the house by around 7:30ish to start the school runs. And I take my own son to the bus stop so he can go to college. Right, are we all ready? Almost ready? Shoes on? Ooh, I think it's going to be a nice day today. Once I've dropped my son off at the bus stop, it's time to take the other children to their educational settings. So, are you ready to hear the options? Yep. Lunches. You could have cottage pie, a fish finger wrap, veggie and cheese taco. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day. I've dropped the kids off at school and I'm going to do a quick run. I'm going to do 30 minutes before I head home for a meeting that I have got. It is a PEP meeting, which I will talk to you about after we do the meeting. I am quickly just going to dial in to this PEP meeting. So now we're all caught up on what has happened earlier on this morning. I have just attended the PEP meeting, which is a personal education plan meeting. And in that meeting, the people who can attend them is the child social worker, the foster carer, the birth parents, if appropriate, and then people to do with the child's education. So it could be the head teacher, or it could be the Senko at the school, or anyone who is going to be involved in the child's education. And during that meeting the school will share a lot of information about the child's progress in school, how they are coping both academically and with the fact that they are, you know, looked after child now, and how that's maybe affecting them. We talk about if the child needs any extra support with any of their learning within school, whether that's a bit more one-to-one time or whatever that may be. It's really just all about how we can support the child with their learning and with their education. And now that meeting is all done, it didn't actually go on that long. We are still doing, I think that we're going to continue doing meetings via Teams or however you know, virtually in the future. I think that everyone kind of just likes that these days. Like before COVID, it was that we would go to we'd meet at the school and do it at the school. Whereas I mean, to be honest, there's something quite, anyone who works in a field where it has gone more virtual now, there is still something quite nice about actually going to the meeting and seeing people, but it is just so much easier. Like I literally got out the shower 1 minute before, like I went for my run, came home, had a shower, I got out the shower 1 minute before the meeting started. So it is kind of nice that, but also it's nice to like actually go and actually see people. But anyway, that meeting is done now. I took some notes about various different things that I can do at home to help with the children's education, like little games we can play or whatever. And now I've got a little bit of time to myself. I'm gonna go make myself some food, and I don't have to. It's a strange day, this one, because I've actually got like more or less the whole day, well, I say the whole day, like the whole sort of school day, more or less, to myself, which doesn't happen. This is the only day it actually happens. It doesn't happen any other day, and I really like this time sort of, and I really try to use it to do things that I enjoy, because most of the other days I haven't got much time to myself. It's maybe like 2 hours here or 2 hours there, and some days I don't have any time at all. And so it's really important for me to make sure that in this time I'm doing things for me. Otherwise I would just totally burn out. Being a single foster carer with 3 children can be a hell of a lot, but yeah, I make sure that I do enjoy the time, and however that might be. Sometimes I go on hikes or walks or whatever. Sometimes I just sit and play on the computer, whatever it may be, things that I enjoy doing. I make sure, like on this day in particular, because I know I've got quite a good chunk of time, I make sure that I focus and do that then. Like I don't worry about any housework that needs doing or anything, because I just think I need this time today to, you know, just relax for a little while, because I would absolutely go bonkers if I didn't. And yeah, so I'll see you a little bit later. It's a couple of hours later now. It's freezing today. I've just turned the heating back on. I was resisting the urge to turn the heating on because energy prices, right? Like I've got about, I don't know how many jumpers on, like 2 pairs of socks, 3 jumpers, and like I was resisting the urge to turn the heating on. I was like, I'm just gonna have to. I'm absolutely freezing. I'm upstairs as well, like when I go downstairs it's even colder. But anyway, what I'm gonna do now, I've got about an hour before I go and start the pickups from school, and then we've got some other stuff going on. Well, actually the whole evening is taken up with stuff. So I want to spend a little bit of time on my review paperwork. So when you are a foster carer, every year you have a review, where it used to be, again, it used to be an in-person thing, but now it's done virtually. Talk about like whether you can continue fostering or not. And to prepare for it, all this paperwork, it's one form that I have to fill in about me as a foster carer, and then there's a form for my, like, for birth children. So for Stephen, voluntarily, Stephen never bothers to do it. He says he hasn't got anything really to say, so fair enough. And then there's another form for every child that you've looked after within the review period. And this time, oh, I look after too many children. Every time it comes to my review period, it's like, oh, there's so much to write. Once I get going on it, it's fine. It's just kind of like the thought of it. It's just like, ugh. And they've changed the document this year, because I save it every year. Because to be honest, a lot of the things, the questions that they ask, it's like, it used to be quite a lengthy, I don't know, like 6-7 pages or something on my one, but I think they've condensed it down a little bit this time. They've changed the paperwork, so I normally just save last year's, and I just sort of look at it and edit it slightly with different, like things that are more relevant to the children I've had in that review period. So it's normally quite a quick process, but because they've changed the form this year, it's gonna take me a little bit longer to do. I'll show you the form actually. Let me just bring it up. So here's the form, and first thing you have to do is like write about the training that you've done in your review period. So my review period is from April through to April, and to be honest, I haven't done much. You can see I've started it. I've started doing the form, making little notes to myself on training that I need to do. I haven't done much. I've only done the mandatory ones. We have mandatory ones that we have to complete every year, and then there's obviously then other ones that you can do on top. Whereas I always like to, like, if I have a child that's dealt with domestic abuse, I'll do a domestic abuse course, or if I have a child that has dealt with substance abuse, I'll see if there's a course about that. So I always try and do my voluntary courses on things that are specific for the children that I'm caring for. The next section is about the support groups. We're required to attend 6 support groups within a review period. You have to write down the dates that you went to the support groups. And then you can see there the questions that it's asking about how you supported the child or the children in your care in this review period with their individual needs. This could include any complex needs. So I will refer back to my last year's one. There's probably a similar sort of question in there. When I read that question, it's like, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to write in there. And just like looking at last year's will just help me like jog my memory on things, I think. Then it asks for any disruptions, complaints, allegations. I haven't had any this week, this review period, so that's easy. How I've worked in a multidisciplinary team within the child's care plan, so like how I've worked with social workers or medical people, what meetings I've attended, and kind of it gives you a little bit of help in the thing there underneath about how to fill that in. Also ask about how I've worked within the plan for family time and develop relationships with birth families. I find that is always the easiest question to answer, to be honest. The next question is about how you've supported children through transitions. So I've done 2 transitions in this period of time. If you've been around for a while, you remember the 2 previous children that were with me from different families. I've transitioned them to various different places, and so I'm going to write about how I did that and how there was some challenging aspects of that and what they were. I'll write about that in there, and then how I've contributed to the development of the fostering service. And then the last little bit is feedback for professionals. So my supervising social worker will write a little bit in there. Any children's social workers will write a little bit about how they found working with me. And that is my form. To be honest, it's quite a good form to reflect upon the previous year of your fostering journey and what you have done in that time. And then this is what's called a PAF 2. I've no idea what the PAF stands for, but this is the form that I've got to fill out for each child that I've looked after. So please outline the rewards and challenges you've experienced whilst caring for this child / sibling group. If you have children of your own, how did they cope with the match? For the 2 children that that left me last year, I've done this form already because they were with me at the last, because they were with me for so long, they were with me at the last review period. And so to be honest, most of these questions I've got answers to that I can kind of do a bit of a copy and paste job, in all honesty. I'll have to obviously adapt it to include the bridging that I've done with them again, but it shouldn't be too bad, in all honesty. I mean, I say it won't be too bad. It'll take me a fair few hours to get it done, but I might just make a start. I'm going to try and get some of my form done and do the kids another time. Right, it is time to go and pick those little darlings up. My review paperwork, honestly, I didn't get very far with it. I didn't get very far at all. I didn't really concentrate on what I was doing. Maybe I'll try later. I probably won't. It'll have to save till another day. Did you have a good day?
It looks purpley.
It does. It's like purpley, blacky. Let's go. Where should we go? We've gone straight from school to take the kids to Contact, so they have all gone. I've got a little bit of time now, and I am gonna, this is when I do my weekly shop, because whilst they're all very well behaved whilst I go shopping, I would much rather go by myself to do the shop. So I'm gonna go go and do the weekly shop now. I, to be honest, don't need that much this week, and so I'm hoping it won't take me the whole contact time, and so I can just nip in, get the shopping done, and I've got my computer with me so that I can possibly sit in the car and do a little bit more of the of that review stuff that I didn't really do any of before. The sun is right in my eyes here. I've parked, never mind. I have done my shopping, and that, like, the shop that I thought to be honest, I really did kind of like stick to the list, but it still cost me 50 quid. But anyway, shopping done, and I have just pulled back up to pick up the kids. I've only got about, where's my phone? What time actually is it? I've got like 15 minutes until they finish their contact. So to be honest, it's not worth me getting out the, like, to start the review paperwork. It's like, I've got to think about it, and I feel like 15 minutes isn't really enough time to like really get into it, so I don't feel like I'm going to get anything done, in all honesty. So what I'm going to do instead is daily diaries on my phone. If you saw, I think it was last week's video, I did a video about how I do my daily diaries, what I include in them, and how I do them on my phone and everything. If you haven't seen that, I'll put it up above. I'm pretty sure I'm quite organised with them, and I've only got today to catch up on, but I may as well just get it done, save doing it later on. Right, that's it, time up. Gonna go and pick them up, and oh, I hate this, but there's a social worker coming round when we get in. Like, it's pretty late. I normally kind of say no to any late visits, like, because like it's been a long day for them. That, you know, they've been in school all day, they've had contact. By the time we get home, like, luckily they will have had tea already, but it's a long day to then have a social worker come as well. And plus, I want to like spend some time with Stephen, and I need to sort out my tea and, you know, Stephen's tea and whatever. So I normally say no to late visits. This is kind of just like a one-off where they're changing social workers. So I've said yeah, and I've given them strict instructions, whether they listen to me or not, but I have given the social workers strict instructions that they have to leave by 6:30, because that is when we start the whole bedtime routine and everything. So we'll see how it goes. That's what I've told them.
Yeah.
Right, we all ready for bed?
1 page.
Quick!
Okay.
Time to brush your teeth. Have we chosen a story?
Okay. This is the best story.
What are we reading? Oh, do you know what it's called?
No.
It's called, the title is This Royal Baby. This silly baby's ears wiggle. Did we make them wiggle? Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
I
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
like this.
Can you wiggle your ears? Without touching them? Just wiggle your ears. Stephen, can you wiggle your ears?
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it, Stephen. Ah! Oh, he can, look!
He can wiggle his ears.
Ah! He can wiggle his ears. He's like this baby.
Is that what he looked like when he was a baby?
Yeah. How did he do it? That's so weird.
No,
What do you
look.
concentrate on? Do you think about your? Do you think about your ear muscles?
I'm using that.
You did
look.
How?
Look.
It's so different.
It's like smiling.
Everyone's just like moving
It's
their
smiling, but without smiling. Because
Smiling
if
without
you
I
smile,
want to do that
it's
one.
the same action. Like your ears do the same thing as what I did.
I'm Sarah.
Night night, everybody.
Why is it turned off?
Night night. I just turned it off so I could say good night. Night night.
I want you to stay here.
There you go. Music on. See you in the morning. So when we arrived home from contact, social workers were already here outside, so we were straight in and had the social worker visit and sort of like the handover from different social workers. To be honest, when I've, like in the past, I've had social workers that had then like changed, and I've never really done like a handover visit like that before, but I mean, fine. New social worker, met the children. Kids were a bit crazy, as kids always are when a social worker visits. They left, they did leave, like bang on 6:30 really, so that was good. And then kind of we started the bedtime, but because they were all hyped up from them visiting, it just took a little bit longer, and I had to put the shopping away and everything. But yeah, all done. I had thought for the rest of the evening I thought that maybe I was going to get the review paperwork out and do a little bit of that, but to be honest, can't be bothered. Now it comes down to it, I just want to relax the rest of the evening. I haven't really seen Stephen, my son. I've like passed him some quick tea when we got in. I made him some quick tea whilst the social workers were here, and that's it. I've passed him his tea. I haven't really seen him at all today, so I'm gonna go and spend a little bit of time with him before I get into bed. I generally get into bed about 9 o'clock because I get up, I need to. If I'm not in bed by 9 o'clock, like, I'm shattered the next day. Thank you so much for watching this day in the life of a foster carer. Any questions about anything, leave them down below, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.